Hey, it's Rob, and today we're rebuilding the Spread Aviation video editing rig, going from the NZXT case that I don't even know the model number on it, but I've had it since 2008 when I originally bought this PC from iBuyPower.com. And back then I think I had AMD processor and AMD graphics and all that, and it's been through about 6 or 7 rebuilds now. But the problem is, back in that time, components weren't putting out quite as much heat, and so this case was not really designed to eliminate that heat, and the temperatures were building up inside. So even though I was water cooled and even started running the fans at 100%, it just wasn't moving enough airflow. So went out to the local Micro Center, local in Boston, and picked up this NZXT 8700i. I've got an H150i Pro water cooler, 3-time 120 millimeter fans. Don't care about the RGB, but this is going to give me plenty of cooling for the overclocked Asus Prime X299 Deluxe motherboard, running a i7-7820X chipset, and right now I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM in here, NVMe, and then there's 3 other drives that get hooked up to this thing, plus a NVIDIA 2080 graphics card, RTX 2080. So there's a lot of horsepower that's getting pushed through this, and what I was finding doing hardware monitoring while rendering videos was that I was using just the graphics card alone. Was using 660 watts of that 850 watts of power, not leaving a lot left to run the other drives, to run the fans, to run the CPU, to run the memory, the VRMs, and all that kind of power management stuff. So in order to improve on that, we've got the Asus Republic of Gamers 1200 watt Platinum power supply. We shouldn't be running out of power anytime soon. So this is just going to be me kind of tearing the well, I've already torn the computer apart and pulled everything out, the old case, and now I'm going to start to build this thing up. So this will probably just be a time lapse. I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot of talking to the camera, but I'll leave it run, and if something interesting happens, well then I'll definitely record on that. But yeah, this is going to be fun. So let's take a look at this case here. You may see a kitty running around every once in a while, and that's Belmont, little tuxedo cat that we picked up from the Humane Society. That's it, there she is, there's the new one, so it's gonna be fun. Okay, so this is tempered glass, gotta be real careful with this. Gonna leave the protective coating on there for later, we'll peel that off for those of you that like to see stuff like that. Most cases have a spot specifically for the power supply, but this one has an integrated bay specifically for that. So it's on the bottom. I'm used to it actually being on the top of the computer. And this comes with, this looks like a 140 millimeter fan and 3 120 millimeter fans already in it, so that's pretty cool. And slots for drives already. My problem is probably going to be that I've got only 2 SSDs and then 3 mechanical drives, which are storage. And I'm not going to have any problem with the NVMe. That'll be fine. But yeah, this has already got lots of different room for activities compared to the old case. A little bit of a difference there. That was neat. Okay, in the back, this thing already comes with a decent amount of cableage run for it already, and cable management is there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity with this to do any cable management with the old case, but in here NZXT has already pre-run a lot of the cabling, like the headers for the USB and the audio inputs, the power button, all that. That's all run through here already, and it looks like, can't quite tell what that is. These are fan headers. Yeah. And RGB lighting, which I'm not doing any RGB. The water cooler, the H150i, already has RGB built into it, but I'm not building an RGB build here. Not really interested. I'd rather have the power going to computing purposes than running lights. I may actually have to read the manual. Got my iFixit kit available from iFixit.com. I don't know. This isn't a sponsored video, but this is a neat little pack to have. Lots of good bits in here. Taking apart your stuff. Not going to need this mounting tray anymore. I like running ASUS products. Recently with this build, when I bought the X299, I bought it because I was watching YouTuber Jay's 2 Cents and was interested in what he was using as a professional. Because I want to be a professional too. I want to have good product, good tools, and saw that he was running an X299 and went, okay, well, how much is one of those? And it was, I thought, fairly priced, so I went and picked up one of those. And the CPU that fits that socket has a lot of expansion. They're still using that socket, the Skylake X socket and chipset, and there's a lot of upgradability. So I was able to find a cheap 7820X that had been delidded, and that improves the cooling on it. So I want to overclock, and whenever you're overclocking, you're going to be generating a lot of heat. So having that delidding made it so, hey, I can push this thing a little bit harder. Problem was the water cooler I was running, the all-in-one AIO, wasn't capable of keeping up with where I was trying to push this thing. So I was running into some temperature issues, and temperature is a killer of electronics and performance and all that. And so I was like, you know what, this is a very expensive endeavor, and it gets more expensive if you start breaking your, oh, it even comes with an RGB strip. All right, I might put one on. Gets very expensive when you start breaking things and have to replace things, especially how I've managed to do it so far. So the CPU came from eBay, and it's worked great. I've purchased CPUs off of eBay before. The old rig had an i7-3770K in it that I bought off of eBay, and I was able to actually overclock it a considerable amount. But how much horsepower do you need? Well, more is always the answer there. So when I found a way to do more on the cheap with the expansion possibilities in the future, I jumped on it. So I'm going to read the manual here so I don't break any of this stuff. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is neat. Magnetic filter. That's neat. Work smarter, not harder. Okay. Actually, it was. Put that there. Redmond's power supply next. What did I do with it? Ah, yes. Public of Gamers, Asus, Thor. It's kind of a shame to hide this. It's so darn pretty. That's alright though. I don't want it like this. Ooh. It appears to want it like that. Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to check on these drive bays. Oh, nice. It's got a filter for it. Oh, that's nice. It's a power supply filter. Big old setup. Something that's very interesting is I still have a DVD writer. You know, I definitely don't need that anymore. But I still have my open air rig, which is over there, which is the old build actually. It's a Z77 G45 motherboard, and it's just sitting open air running Unix or Ubuntu. It's running Ubuntu, which is a little project that Matt did, Spread Aviation Matt. Just to run a little conversion and still have an audio rig for recording, so it can be over on the couch. Okay, HD audio. Come up here. Speaker. I'm gonna have to get the manual out for this board because I don't remember. Front panel audio. Yep, that's it. Okay. It's a little flower. It's a little flower. Okay, use that. Use this USB. USB header. Right there. That should work. Those two. Okay. Power. Now USB 2.0. Yeah, it's very really should teaching that. One of these things is not like the other. Okay. Oh, this is our front panel. USB 2.0. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, this one. Okay, this is going someplace different. So I'm gonna plug this one in. Make sure I get that one into that header. It does fit. You have to fit the 4.6. It does make one now. Is that a PCIe? That is. Sorry. Sorry. That's fine. Okay. Still one. Let's check out the yeah, okay. That's one. The panel keys to play. You got down. You got to get over that. I really want to mount the 28. I really want to do that. I don't think this case is out of that. No. No, it's not. Okay, no, I'm not doing three-way SLI yet. So this... Yep, I'm going to pull those fans out and mount them on the top. And I'll have to rerun some cables, but that's okay.
Yeah, very both these options are better. This one. Well. Louder now with the part. It's back here.
It's time for the H150i Pro. Yay, fans. Okay, good. Fan. All in one. No moisture here, right? Looks good. I think I will. Okay, what do we have? Thermal paste, which I may remove. That's very interesting. Yep, okay, good. Already have the standoffs in. The old standoffs. This is where having it on top would be the best. I want the top to be exhaust. I may have to swap all that out just because of that. This would be the ideal right here. Fixed. Okay, very important here. Comes with a bolt that's long enough to fit through the fan and attach to the radiator. However, it also comes with a bolt that's long enough to fit through the radiator, but not really attached to the fan. And I've heard of people threading this all the way through the radiator and destroying their radiators. No bueno. So Pay attention to that kind of thing.
Oh, washer. Insert hole. Insert hole.
Oh, wait a minute. This has this filter, and if I put these fans there, I can't run that filter. Taking it apart. I'm gonna go get some rubbing alcohol because I want to get all this thermal paste off of here. I'm even gonna take the stock thermal paste off and replace it with this stuff. Put some of this Icy Diamonds on there. Okay. Got the cotton swabs. Got the isopropyl alcohol. You need that thermal compound to help transfer the heat away from the heat spreader. Oh yeah. Onto the copper plate here. Looks good. And the same thing here. It's nice this comes with, you don't have to do what I'm doing right now. This already comes with thermal compound on it from Corsair and protective cover. Keep it from getting smeared, but I'll put some of this other stuff on. Nothing wrong with what they put on, but I don't know how long this has been sitting on the shelf, drying out. And when it's dried out, it doesn't do as good of a job anymore. So put some fresh stuff in there.
Nice, big smooth surface. Nice clean. Oops. Nice clean. One more. Nice clean.
Okay, appears to be the same kit, same hardware. Came with the H60 kit, so seeing as how these are the same posts, yeah, I'll just use the same hardware. In the words of Joe Swanson, let's do this! What is it? The other thing I bought was this M.2 heat spreader. Temperature is a killer, especially for these M.2 drives. So, I'm going to put one of these heat spreaders on to make sure that it maintains operational life for as long as possible. Comes with a thermal pad, heat sink, and 2 silicone bands to maintain pressure and tension on the M.2 drive. So you need to pull the sticker off of the heat spreader.
What's good? Check out there.
Okay, perfect. So this pad acts exactly like the thermal compound we just put on the CPU, and it helps to transfer the heat energy into the heat sink so it can be dissipated.
Be careful for that hole. That leaves it just fine. Hands up, this is one. When you think that you're using that. Big details. Apply. So cardboard. Check this in there. Okay, that is. Case.
Hi, Beaumont.
What you doing, kid? What's new, pussycat? Whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa. Okay. That's why I will do this. We have Jesus. We have this. We have that. Or maybe here. I wasn't doing. That's not it. That was right. Okay. We'll reload it. It's like a German.
Bend that out. I also just notch this. No. No. You look at me like, what do you mean no? Perfect. Fits as advertised. No. 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 Smart cat. No. Stop. Straight out of here. Slip it on the other side. What are you doing, kid? What are you doing? Get Get out of there. That was hilarious. I love you. You're great. No. No.
Nice. Good boy. Good boy.
Back from dinner, and I turn the lights back on. I'm not really in a rush. However, the Red Bull Air Race, the last one of the year, starts in 32 minutes. So I'd love to have this done and fired up on the computer so I can watch it there. It's kind of the goal right now. And I think I will mount, I'm going to demount this SSD and mount it back here. It'll just be a whole lot easier. Oh, 1 hour 30 minutes, okay. So I got a little more time to do this. It doesn't really change my mind though on where I want to put those SSDs. Did I not get that in? Oh, and I still have to do that. Gosh. And there's room here, but I don't have a bay to put that mechanical drive. And I don't have a problem right now with just setting it in there. It's just going to be ugly. But that may be what I do. Oh, I could Velcro it. I have zero hesitation doing that. It's 15-pound Velcro. I'm gonna Velcro it. Oh, I'm gonna Velcro that drive in. I have some really nice Velcro. It's 15-pound industrial stuff. And not only would it totally work in this application, it's going to dampen vibration. Okay. Let's do the nasty. That's a nice bag. It's even a thicker looking cable. I don't like how it smells like an electrical fire though. You can't smell it. This isn't smell-o-vision, but it smells like an electrical fire. Not a huge fan. Okay. So this is a modular kit. And you have individual ports and slots and plugs for your different peripherals. And then you have your individual cables that run to all of that different stuff. So you plug all your stuff in kind of one by one. Another power supply over there. The other option is to not have these individual pieces of parts, but to have just cables running out that the manufacturer has built to just go, you get these components. This is what you get. Whereas in this case, I have a lot of different options for stuff to plug in, and like I don't have to use all of this either. So first one I'm looking for here is the motherboard, and ASUS did a nice thing too, where they they put these cable keepers in the bag. Not only these Velcro ones, which are really nice, but these spacers here, which can help kind of wrap your wires and keep everything together nice and pretty instead of spaghetti. Some people are more sensitive to spaghetti than others. I am not. I think spaghetti is delicious. Okay, so yeah, this goes to the motherboard. This is the main power for it, and I'm actually going to run from the board into the back. Is that how I want to do it? I have no idea. What's in the back? That's how you do it. Kind of does. Actually, right here. You want that? Here. Here. Okay. So again, again. First one goes through here. And then I can come this. Yeah, so this. Alright, so there's another one. So it's like 3 hour 4. That's sorry. This is really nice. Green. Got one. I put in. That's right. Single X. Alright, yeah, this is the so this goes. These both my power. That's it. We'll check it. And save here. And looks like one of these. CDJ. Yeah, okay, DJ. Perfect. Even right now, everything else needs power. There's multiple on motherboard. And I need all of some of these at least. Good lord, I need one now. That's all okay. That's I don't have anything else that needs what? That's a price base. Okay, just that fan. See now? It's not really good. And make sure you all this power inside. Here's this save power drives. This may actually be kind of run. I got one drive back here, so sort of so see where we go here. You get power. You get power. You can take it. Okay. Okay. You talk inside. I need to put this in the mesh. There's RGB. There's more RGB. Yeah. So we got help with that. This is not bad, but you guys got it. Second, I'm not on it. That's the main collection, power motherboard. That's it. That's all good. I really hate the running those wax. Really hate it. That's okay. This is what I'm doing. Crazy. You here? Let me scratch her. Back it up. That's good. There we go now. No one yet? Hello. Yeah, no. Okay, what is it? That's what it is. That's a TV fan. That's not power. This fan is there. EVGA GeForce RTX 2080. Well, back in. Robert. That's it. Okay, cool. So, still need to plug in that Thunderbolt, which means I gotta find the Thunderbolt cable. I think I will put it there. This is just a little cosmetic thing. Probably won't even really be noticeable, but that's the point. Just sharpieing the edge of the PCB, the graphics card, to make it black instead of white. So it won't stick out as much. There, good. Now, scissors, that's what I was doing. And then this little rectangle of Velcro is going to hold this drive in place. And if it ever has to come out, it should be very simple to bring it out. So I'm just going to use a little bit of alcohol, clean up the contact areas for where it's going to be, make sure there's no dust or contaminants that are going to prevent it. Ah, I have a cut! There's a cut on my finger. Can't see it, but I know it's there now. Prevent any contaminants from keeping the sticky parts from sticking. Simple enough. It'll dry in a second. I'm watching it dry. It's a lot of fun. Did I just say that? I like to have the loop side on the object I'm moving. And we'll leave the hook side, it's loops and hooks. We'll leave the hook side on the basically permanent piece, which is the case. That way when I do pull this drive out, I don't have to worry about getting garbage in the hooks on the drive because the hooks won't be there. And then I just put it back. Wedge this thing in there real good. Real darn good. Get in there real good like. Yeah. Perfect. Now that won't go anywhere. Barely even tell that there's a drive there. I'm gonna patent that. Oh, that's good. No, you're square. That's wrong. That curve here. If it don't fit, don't force it. Square, round. VRM fan in. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Put my VRM fan in. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, now you get plugged in down here and hope for no sparks. We have turny glowy blowy. Hopefully that's boot loop. That's okay, alright. Another one of those is not the worst thing. Memory. CPU. We got a white light on the memory. $99. $99's a good sign. Let's go to the BIOS. Yes. You're not turning. You're not turning. You're not turning. That's bad. Okay. Fan control. Optimize all. Give it to the close and configure. All fan. Definitely missing some drives there. A is missing. Hi. Hi. Good boy. Hi. A is missing. That's B. One of those is C. The other one is A. The big one is A. Looking for the big A. Yeah, this is A. It got unplugged. Because of the bad thingamajig. Target is DHW info. Let's go to D's missing. Which drive is D? Ow! That hurt. It's gotta be this one. There's nothing here, it's gotta be Velcro. I wanna rename it Velcro. It feels like it's turning. As long as it's not tilted and has sufficient cooling. Oh. So that's probably D. I might have destroyed it. Velcro was such a good idea. As long as it's not tilted. It's totally tilted. Well, it seemed like a real good idea. What did we learn? The Taquito's going one and explode out the other. Okay, I can still do this. I could put it down there, can mount it upside down. I can still Velcro it. Totally doing this. I'm excited about the possibilities of Velcro with computer building. Kidding me? Great. Oh, dang it. Take a Thunderbolt drive. Alright. It will be okay. I just have my phone. Toss that over there. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 21:06.
Oh no.
Well, it's a knockout phase. These are head-to-head matchups. The timing bears significance. Looking forward to the round of 8. But the main focus for the pilots is just to be...
Okay, so got it back fired up. And I've got finally seeing all the drives. Probably the most ninja thing I've done is this drive. Well, I had to move. I had the Velcro up here, and I just moved it down to this location, and that's fine. I'd forgotten that when you have this PCI slot, filled, you lose SATA ports 5 and 6. So I had 2 drives not showing up, couldn't figure out why, and then started changing out SATA plugs, found one that worked, and then realized, oh yeah, it's in 5 and 6. 5 and 6 don't work when the Thunderbolt card is plugged in. Forgot about that. It's been a little while since I've had this thing, well, since I originally put this together. And I forgot all the trials and tribulations that went along with that. Other than that, things are working great, except for the fans on the AIO. They're spinning, but they appear to be spinning at whatever temperature they or whatever RPM they want, and it seems to be low idle. So when I put a load on the CPU, nothing happened, and everything spiked to red line on temperatures, and I stopped it. So trying to prevent any damage there, like, that's not good. That's not good at all. Where's your toy? Where's your toy? This is not your toy. What are you doing? What are you doing? He's a good boy. No, don't bite my... A handful of things have happened in the last couple of hours. Number one is Matt Hall won the Red Bull Air Race World Championship, so congratulations to him, and congratulations to all the competitors who have ever participated in that particular series, and it's a darn shame that it's over. Number 2 through 5, handful of things here. A couple changes that have happened inside up to this point, but it is now 99% assembled and ready to go. I did have the radiator over here running the loops over in between this. Jeez, Pete, can't even talk. But I was having some cooling issues, some very, very bad cooling issues. It was hitting max temp and thermal throttling more than I'd ever seen it before, and I figured that because the pickups were located at the top, that there was an air bubble there, and now the lines weren't able to pump, and the pump was just cavitating and not able to, the fluid was not flowing to absorb the heat. So I pulled the fans out from the top, put the radiator and the fans up there, swapped them around, moved everything around, fired the system back up, and the problem actually seemed to get worse. It was at that point that I realized, okay, well, it's not an air bubble issue at this point. Let's check the fittings. And so if we remember from earlier in the video, when I was assembling this, I used the same attachments from the old water block. I already had the standoffs in, the old standoffs. And the problem was the height of this part right here is much taller on this piece than it was here, so the water block was not able to make good contact with the top of the CPU, so heat wasn't being transferred. Once I changed out all those pieces and parts, do it right, use the right parts, use what comes with the kit. Once I changed out those parts, temperatures came down nominal range and was actually holding much better on a high workload than I'd ever seen with the previous H60. So I was actually concerned that I was going to have to return this water block, the entire AIO, back to the store tomorrow. Concerned that it was a DOA part, but no, it seems to be working just fine, even though the RPM on the pump is about half that of what was on the H60. So with greater volume, I guess you don't need to pump it as quickly to get everything out of there. So yeah, now I'm just taking off the last or the protective cover on the tempered glass here, and this is, some people really enjoy this, so I wanted to make sure that, oh yeah, now this is, I can feel the static electricity that this is building up. Some, yeah, no bueno, I'll touch case there. Make sure I dissipate all that. And then putting this in. Do one more peel here on the front. Yeah, that looks good. So we'll peel that, and we'll put. Ooh, this has to slide up a little bit higher. There we go. Little grommet. Grommet there, a little rubber grommet. It's got to go in a little rubber grommet. Come on, relax. Go to your home. What's the matter with your home? You don't like your home? Okay, got it. Got it. And oh yeah, there we go. Nope, don't do that. Put that one in there. And so this is actually the first time that I've got the whole thing together, completed. I still haven't plugged in the Rift. And I assembled the front panel without the air filter in. I forgot about the air filter. So the air filter, nuts. Okay. So when I was figuring that there was an air bubble in the reservoir, or not the reservoir, this is now in the radiator, I took it all apart, flipped it over, and actually moved my hard drive bay, which is inside of here, all the way over to the next part. So I not only had to take all the fans off, pull the radiator, pull this out, disconnect all the wires, flip it over, move that tray over. Once I hooked that back up and it still didn't work, or no, it's not that it didn't work, it's that it didn't reach. It didn't reach anymore, so the hoses aren't long enough to get all the way over to there. So that's disappointing. However, the point of this story, which is rambling at this point, is this air filter goes on the front here, and there's 3 fans which are blowing into the case. So this is a positive pressure case because I've got 3 fans in, 3 fans in, 1 fan out. But this air filter I modified to go over to the round heads of the bolts that screwed into the AIO and all the fans there, whereas the fans that are here use recessed flat heads, and so I didn't even need to do this. So custom modification, unnecessary surgery. But okay, now that's in. We put the front panel back on. It actually has been quite interesting to work with this case. There's lots of room for stuff, and it's been fun. It's been fun. So power supply on. External hard drive spinning up. And now we enjoy the glow. Killed the lights down here. That one's still on. But there you have it.